Hey friends, how are you? I hope you're having a great day today. I'd like to introduce you to this project. This is Flowers in a Vase project designed especially for kids. You do not have to have any experience at all to be successful with this project. I will take you step by step through the process, and so you will know exactly what to do at all times. I'd like to go over the supplies and the materials that you will need for this project. The first thing that you'll need is paper. I use a thick white paper and it holds paints very, very well. So if you have a thick paper available to you, I would use that. Another thing that you will need is paint. I use a Tempera paint. You don't have to use this particular brand. This is just what's available to me. So use what you have available to you. If you don't have Tempera paint, you can always use acrylic paint, or you can use poster paints. The next thing that you'll need are paintbrushes. I am using, in this particular lesson, I am using this larger brush, but I would recommend that you use a larger brush like this and a smaller brush as well, because there are small spaces right here that you might want to get into with a smaller paintbrush. You will need a palette to put your paints on. I use a paper plate because it's really great for easy cleanup. You will need a paper towel to wipe your paints off on so you can dip into the next paint that you're going to use. And that you will need also a mat. A mat is good to have underneath your painting. That way you will keep your space nice and tidy and clean. Alrighty friends, I hope that you enjoy doing this lesson with me. Let's get started. Hey friends, welcome back. Let's get started on this step. In this step, what we're going to do is we are going to create our flowers, and we are going to create our flowers by painting them. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to put a variety of different colors onto your palette. I've chosen yellow, orange, white, purple, and a combination of red and white to make pink, and then green. And what we're going to do is we're not going to be drawing, we're just going to put the paint directly onto our piece of paper without even drawing. Okay, so take your paintbrush and just start painting. Think about some flowers that you've seen in nature. I tend to like to paint daisies a lot, but there are other types of flowers that I like to paint as well. But I'm going to get started with a daisy. So I want my daisy to be orange in the center. So I'll start out by making an orange circle, and I'm not going super slowly and carefully with this because I just want it to be a little bit more loose. The next thing I'm going to do is dip my orange paintbrush into my yellow, and I'm just going to start making petals. And as you can see, some of my orange paint went into my yellow, and I like the way that that looks. So I'm encouraging that, just like this. There we go. Now I'm going to go back to my orange and I'm going to put a little bit more definition into that middle part of my flower. All right, so at this point I'm going to take this paint off of my paintbrush. And the way that I do that is I wipe it onto my paper towel and then I give it a little pinch. And that should take enough of the paint off of my paintbrush. I'm not going to be using water for this particular project because water will water the colors down and they will not be as bright. For my next flower, I'm going to use the combination of white and red, so it'll make pink. And I don't know the name of the flower. I think it's called a cone flower, but let me show you how to make it. It's a really cool type of a flower. And I think I'm going to make that flower right here. So we put a line and a curved line on top, and then we fill it in like this. And then for the bottom part, I think I'm going to add a little bit of purple, like this. And the petals come down as opposed to all the way around. Just like that. Okay, I think I can fit one more flower right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint mostly with red. And I think I'm just going to make another big daisy. So here's my center. And then coming out from my center, I'm going to make more of a pink color. And I'm just going to go all the way around the center point of my flower. I like that there are two different colors here and you can see both of the colors. There's a white and a red. Now I'm going to add some more red to the center to give it a little bit more definition. So here are my 3 flowers. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to wipe off my paintbrush, give it a little squeeze. So at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my vase, and I'm going to make my vase purple, and it's going to be mixed with a little bit of white. So I'm going to make my vase down here, and I'm just going to start painting. I'm not going to draw it out. I'm not going to think about it a whole lot. I'm just going to start painting. I'm going to double load my paintbrush with white and then purple, and then I'm just going to start by making a vase. So I'm going to have a straight line, and maybe I'll come down like this, and then I'll close up my vase. And I'll just keep painting until I'm happy with the shape of my vase. Make it a little bit bigger because I want to make sure that it holds all of my flowers. All right, at this point, I'm going to clean off my paintbrush. And I'm going to make some stems for my flowers. They're going to go from my flower down into my vase. So I'm going to use green, and I'm just going to use the side of my paintbrush like this. Dip it again, the side of my paintbrush, and remember, this is in the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip over the flower, follow that line down, and then finish up like that. And then the last one is this one right here, and then we'll do the same thing like this. Now we'll want to add a few little leaves. So let's just make some leaf shapes. And basically those are curved lines, curved line, and then close those lines up. Make as many leaves as you think looks great on your piece of paper. So I think 3 on this one, maybe 1 down here for this one, and then maybe even 1 up here coming out from this one. I don't want to go over that other flower though. That's really, really important. Maybe I'll even put a little bit of a leaf down here. There we go. Alrighty friends, so this part of my project is finished. I have my flowers, I have my leaves and my stems, I have my vase down here, and when we come back after this dries just a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be painting my background. So your painting will look different from mine, and that's actually a good thing. Think of it that way. I'm just showing you some ideas, and then you need to do what you want to do because it is your artwork. All right, I'll see you back here in the next lesson. Hey friends, I'm back. So my painting is almost dry. There are a few wet spots in here, but that's okay. I'm just going to work around those. I'm going to now paint my background blue, and it's going to be this cool turquoise blue color, and I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. And I'm just going to start at the top, and I'm going to move my way down, and any space that I see that is white, I'm just going to start painting blue. So I'm going to double load my paintbrush with blue, and I'm just going to start painting. When I get to one of my flowers, I'm going to go around my flower just like this and try not to touch it too much. If I touch it a little bit, no problem, but I'm going to try not to touch it too much. So I'm going to speed up this video, and I will see you back here in just a minute. Alrighty friends, I'm back and I really like my painting. I do have to mention that I did have a few really small spaces in here that I struggled a little bit with my paintbrush because it's so big for that particular space. So what I would do is I would suggest to you to, if you have a smaller paintbrush, like maybe about this size, if you could use this size paintbrush for your smaller areas, that might be a really good idea. I'm always learning. I'm always learning new things when I'm painting. So I learned something. I learned a lesson today as I was painting this. I'm going to have two paintbrushes available, a larger one and a smaller one. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you next time.